Authorities say they've been inundated with reports of flooded roads, fallen trees, power outages and damaged infrastructure across Gauteng on Sunday. This is after devastating rains pelted the province. For more on this, we're joined by Dr. Elias Sithole. He's the head of the National Disaster Management Center. Dr. Sithole, good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Let's start with how far you've gone in mobilizing all of your teams for any eventuality.
Thank you very much, Xoli. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the viewers as well. Yes, since yesterday, all our disaster teams and fire services teams, they were on high alert. We've made sure that all our provincial and municipal disaster management centers, they are activated so that they're able to assist the communities and then respond to any eventualities.
Yeah.
So we are monitoring this rainfall very closely.
The warning for severe weather, particularly severe thunderstorms, it remains in place, although you notice in the introduction that there has been a slight downgrade from that level 9. I think Gauteng now sits at level 6. I want to include a little later in our conversation other provinces, but let's deal with the Gauteng province, which appears to be almost the focal point for now. What's the likely impact here and who's mostly at risk?
When Gauteng received level 9, we were very worried because that was the first time Gauteng received a kind of level from South African Weather Services. So we immediately made sure that all our teams, they are on high alert. We end up also activated some of the structures or other stakeholders whom we wanted to be involved in the space, but also most importantly, making sure that the communities, they are being actually alerted so that if need arises, then we are able to evacuate them.
Yeah.
So yes, the level 6, definitely it really indicates in terms of the severe thunderstorms, the flooding of the roads, and then sometimes also the damage to the infrastructure.
Yeah. Let's talk about those other stakeholders, because when a lot of water like this, because that's what the severe thunderstorm effectively is, when you see the impact on the ground, you see water puddles all over. And that talks to the drainage systems. When you talk about other stakeholders, how much of a conversation is there, particularly at local level, basically municipalities, to say, let's clean up our drainage systems when we have such warnings so that at least water can flow in those drainage systems that at least are still operating? Because at times you'll find that there simply is a blockage because of things that are, whether it be plastics or whatever, but basically dirt and all of the other inhabitants that are blocking the water from flowing through. So how much of a conversation is there to clear these pipes?
Well, in the past, we've learned a lot because we had a situation where one department will actually do their own thing, and then that kind of activity was not integrated into the bigger picture in terms of us reducing risk and also in the program of risk reduction. So at national level, we have more or less all the national departments which sit in our meetings. But also when you go to the provincial sphere, you have provincial sector departments. They all of them, they participate in the provincial structures. And the advantage which we have is that these departments, they do have offices in the municipality space. So what we normally do is that, for example, you'll have a situation where there will be impact into the electricity. So ESCOM is on board so that if something happened, then ESCOM is able to make sure they deal with those issues. If there's a problem related to the roads, the Department of Transports, they're definitely involved. they make sure that they use the traffic officers, for example, if low-lying bridges they've been overflooded, and to close those roads, but also working with the municipalities to make sure that they clean the drainage system. So the involvement of other departments is now, I would say, that they are very active in our structures. That include at the municipality level to make sure that they clean those drainage system at the municipality level. But we have a situation where some of the municipalities definitely they don't have those kind of resources, and they need really additional or extra hands to come and assist in those spaces. So we've identified those bottlenecks in some of the areas or those gaps in some of the municipalities to bring additional resources to assist specifically in terms of road maintenance and also the cleaning of the drainage system.
Okay, I was about to ask you that question about roads because a province like the Northwest, which is listed here, it does have serious problems when it comes to the road infrastructure. So let's talk about the rest of the provinces that have been listed here. Mpumalanga, Limpopo, these are also among those that are potentially to suffer the effects of these heavy rains. Are they properly equipped?
Yeah, this morning we had a meeting with the head of centers, head of provincial disaster management centers across the country, and they reported that in their provinces, they've worked with the municipalities to advise them to put disaster and fire services teams on alert and also move the equipments closer to the hotspots areas so that they're able to assist the communities as quickly as possible. It always advisable to bring those equipments closer to the hotspot so that when something happens, we are able to react. Because if you come late, then you'll be challenged in terms of bringing more equipment because you might not have enough equipment to deploy in that particular spot.
Finally, then, let me tease out the elements of what you say is equipment that needs to be brought closer to the space. Yeah. What kind of equipment are we talking about?
Look, if, for example, right now, we know that we are experiencing floodings in some of the areas. So we will have teams which are specializing on rescue activities in case there's a car which has been maybe, it was driving, but then the water end up actually washing away the car and the people that are inside the car, and then our rescue teams, they're able to try to rescue those people. But also we make sure that we advise the communities to avoid the low-lying bridges so that we don't find ourselves have to rescue those people. So we've got the rescue teams on standby with the equipments of rescuing the people, but also we do have other vehicles as well which specialize on other elements. For example, if there's a building collapse, and then we are able to utilize those equipments carried by those vehicles.
Dr. Elias Sithole, thank you very much for your time, and really grateful for explaining to us where we stand in terms of the state of preparedness for any eventuality. Dr. Elias Sithole is the head of the National Disaster Management Center.